The BamaInsider Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad. With Rivals Bama Insider Managing Editor Kyle Henderson and former Crimson Tide Sports Network broadcaster and SEC Network play-by-play voice Mick Gillespie. The BamaInsider Tailgate Show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play. Bama Buggy, best price, best selection, best service. Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. Rounders on the Strip, Vegas-style bar with the best rooftop in Tuscaloosa. Allstate agent Andrew Kniffer. You're in good hands with Allstate. Innisfree, an Alabama Irish pub tradition. Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. Not too small, not too big. Tuscaloosa is pronounced just right. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of fine art editions by Daniel A. Moore. Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. R&R Cigar in downtown Tuscaloosa, home of the Victory Cigar.
Also brought to you by Hotel Indigo, Tuscaloosa's amazing upscale boutique lodging in downtown. The Flora-Bama, world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach. Commercial banker Jay Weber with Service First Bank Fairhope.
And now, here are Kyle and Mick.
What do you say, everybody? It's time for the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. The show is presented by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. And for the next 2 hours, we're going to preview Alabama at LSU from Death Valley. On the show today, we got Leonard's Loser. We got Lance Taylor from Jocks, and he'll have his Lance's Lock. We've got some help from our friends at TigerDroppings.com, the LSU rival site. They'll be here. We're going to help you plan out your tailgate. And we got a lot more going on, including our friends from Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. We're at the Flora-Bama, guys. We're at the Flora-Bama, doing it on the line, Perdido Key in Orange Beach. I'm Mick Gillespie with my partner, the best in the business, Kyle Henderson from Bama Insider. He's the managing editor of BamaInsider.com. We'll have best-selling author Andrew Bone coming up soon. But number one, Alabama, looking at the Tigers and a chance to make it 9-0 in this 10-game schedule. 7 o'clock from Tiger Stadium, Kyle.
It's that time. I mean, another weekend for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, you look at all the momentum that this team has coming into this weekend. And, you know, we've talked about it now for almost 2 weeks. You know, if you combine the Alabama and LSU hype before the game was postponed, LSU tried to run away, but now here they are facing Alabama down in the Bayou, a place that, you know, they haven't scored against Alabama, ironically enough, since 2014. And everybody remembers what happened last year in Tuscaloosa. So plenty of motivation for the Alabama Crimson Tide going into this game. Nearly a 30-point favorite. I know we'll talk about this more throughout the show, but Alabama certainly rolling and all eyes on the prize, getting to 9-0 on the season.
No doubt, man. We're live from the Flora-Bama, Orange Beach, Perdido Key. Our show's brought to you by the Flora-Bama, the world-famous beach bar. And later on in the show, we're going to have a little tailgate fun with Jennifer. She's in charge of marketing. She's going to bring us a screwball and a world-famous bushwhacker. I know Kyle's going to be jealous and you guys at home, but you're invited to come join us. And everything's open back at capacity here. Big Earl and I think they're called the Sex Biscuits are performing a couple rooms from where I'm at right now. But we're on every Friday from 6 to 8 on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. And then tomorrow we'll be on Jocks 2, 4 to 6 on Jocks 2, leading you right up into Alabama and LSU, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. Podcast available Friday night, probably about 8:30 on the Bama Insider, wherever you get your podcasts, right? All right, look, man, the big news, and I'm going to get into a lot of stuff here, but if you haven't heard it, Alabama and Arkansas set for next Saturday. So Alabama is right now on course, Kyle, to play all 10 games.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that Greg Sankey definitely wanted for the SEC. I mean, is the game needed? Not necessarily. I mean, it's kind of a meaningless game, especially if Alabama does beat LSU, because they will officially have locked up the SEC West. Same with Florida. So why are these teams having to play an extra game? Well, you know, the schedule was set and let the teams play all their games. You and I were talking before the show. It's almost better that they play the games, because sometimes when you don't play the game, sometimes you have more COVID cases than not. When the team does have a week of preparation, they're kind of dialed in, they're locked in, they're all in Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa. So maybe for all the better. When you look at everything at a glance right now, Alabama will be now on the road for 3 consecutive weeks, down in Baton Rouge this weekend, next weekend in Arkansas, and then the following weekend with a trip to Georgia to play Florida in the SEC championship game. So there's a lot of moving parts. Alabama is going to be on the road plenty for the next, for the rest of the season, really, if they continue to run the table. I mean, you look at a playoff game, you look at where those are at, Pasadena or the Sugar Bowl, and then the championship is in Miami. So Alabama, if you're following them, definitely pack your mask, pack your bags, and get ready to follow the Crimson Tide as they chase down another national championship.
He's Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, whether you're watching on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube TV, thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Super chats are appreciated. If you're listening on Jocks 2, we appreciate all of you guys with us as we preview Alabama and LSU. Hey, look, Kyle, more breaking news. Nick Saban back. He's with the team. He had COVID. He survived it, and that's good news for everyone involved.
I mean, was there any doubt that Nick Saban would, the COVID? I mean, no. I mean, the GOAT continues to win. And I thought it was amazing. I mean, Chris Lowe wrote a great article about kind of painting the picture what it was like with Nick Saban watching the game from home. And he had 2 feeds, the official feed and then, the TV broadcast. And I thought it was hilarious when, he's upstairs kind of quarantining and Miss Saban is downstairs, Miss Terry Saban, and she's screaming and cheering. And he's like, what the hell could she be possibly cheering about? I thought it was a beautiful article. Definitely check it out. And, the GOAT's back. He was back at practice on Thursday. That was something that we were able to confirm. So everybody's locked in. But I did drop some breaking news. Now, Alabama will be without a couple assistant coaches against LSU because of COVID. So more information back on BamaInsider.com. It is kind of a developing story that I posted early this afternoon. So Nick Saban will be back, but some of the assistant coaches and some support staff will be out and miss the game against LSU.
Another one of those nuggets you get at BamaInsider.com. And by the way, great time to get BamaInsider.com. $75 gets you an entire year, and then you get a $75 gift card sent right back to you to the Nike store. So you can get all that Alabama gear, or if you don't like Nike, they got other stuff as well. But a lot of cool stuff going on right now. Makes a great gift, and Kyle's always on top of everything. Kyle, what does it mean to Nick Saban and Alabama after last year's loss to take on LSU Saturday?
I mean, surprisingly, according to Nick Saban, not much. I mean, they don't really, he said that he doesn't even use the revenge factor as something that he kind of really plays into his players. I think the players know that they want revenge. I think Nick Saban has clearly heard, what was said in the locker room after last year's victory from LSU, but I don't think that's a clear driving force. I think that, the driving force is perfection and always making sure that their team is better than the opposing team. And I thought it was great. A reporter asked Nick Saban, what's a key analytic you look at kind of, throughout the season? What are analytics that you look at? Sometimes we're so tied into analytics. Me, myself, I love kind of the, the science behind it, the math. And Nick Saban was like, the only analytic that I look at is wins and losses. It was like, boom, mic drop. So he's dialed in. This guy, of course, he cares about winning, cares about beating LSU because it is a rivalry game. There's recruits on the line. But if Alabama does what they're needed to do, I think they definitely cover that spread. And I'm sure we'll talk about that later in the show. Of course we will.
Yeah, that's a great point. I love it when Nick Saban gets all technical with us, right? The ACC canceled the final games for Clemson and Notre Dame. And I was going to ask you, when we set this show up, is the SEC going to follow? And the answer we know now is no. Alabama's going to play Arkansas. They're not looking at that formula. And you mentioned it earlier, and I think you're exactly right, because it was what I was thinking as well. One of the reasons you don't do that is because these guys could go out and get COVID anyway. They don't have to practice. They don't have any football operations. You're not keeping them from COVID by not playing a football game.
And you're keeping them fresh within the rhythm. So if you want to look at it kind of from a positive aspect, you certainly you keep the team within a rhythm. They're going to be big favorites against Arkansas. And I think another aspect too, if you want to pad some stats for Mac Jones kind of going into the Heisman race, that's something that you and I talked about before. Then that's another game that you do it. You kind of build up experience, get some younger guys in. I know it's kind of rat poison because you have to win the game first, but let's be real. I mean, Alabama versus Arkansas, not very appealing, but another chance for these younger guys in Alabama to get better before they go into this championship game against Florida in Atlanta, Georgia.
Nick Saban's back on the sideline again. Alabama without their chief didn't miss a beat. I mean, maybe it cost them one touchdown. Is Brian Robbins going to fumble if Nick Saban's there? I don't know, but this team, Nick Saban or not, it seems like a really special group.
Absolutely. And I think it stems from leadership. I mean, you always talk about leadership and maybe that's cliche, but I think it really stems from the top. Landon Dickerson up front at the center. I think he's, a real catalyst to why this offensive line and the offense overall is so good. And then on the defensive side, we've really seen the defense emerge the last couple of weeks. And that's something that Alabama fans have wanted to see from Pete Golding and the Alabama defense. I think that stems from Patrick Surtain. Keynote, check this out. Alabama going into LSU game in Baton Rouge. 3 starters from the defense are from Baton Rouge. Christian Harris, Dylan Moses, both inside linebackers, and Chris Allen. So 3 players in the defense from Baton Rouge.
Wow. And it really does show you the recruiting prowess of Nick Saban and Alabama. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw. Now is a great time to make your picks count at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sportsbook. LSU, believe it or not, folks, they are the defending national champs coming off of a 15-0 dream season, but 2020 has been more of a nightmare. Problems on and off the field have plagued Coach Ed Orgeron and his program. But when we come back, we're going to talk about this LSU program with Jared Roser from TigerDroppings.com. More Bama Insider Tailgate Show right after this.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Genesis of Tuscaloosa, Alabama's first Genesis dealer, is a proud sponsor of Crimson Tide football and pleased to announce another first, the all-new 2021 GV80, the newest luxury SUV from Genesis, arriving soon. Be first to call and reserve your spot to experience the new standard of luxury in Tuscaloosa, the all-new 2021 Genesis GV80. See our full luxury lineup at Genesis of Tuscaloosa, the corner of Skyland and Hargrove, genesisoftuscaloosa.com.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, football is fine art. Now at newlifeart.com, see Daniel A. Moore's new 2021 Crimson and White Fine Art Calendar, featuring 13 dynamic images of defining moments from the Saban era. As a special offer to listeners of this show, use coupon code ROLLTIDE for $5 off each calendar. To order yours, call 1-800-735-2787 or visit newlifeart.com today.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
In on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
The Flora-Bama Beach Bar is open at full capacity with no COVID restrictions. It's time to slip on back to Orange Beach for multiple stages of live music daily, free bingo Monday through Friday, and football watching all season long on tons of TVs. There's never been a better time to enjoy sunsets from the beachfront bars with a famous bushwhacker. Flora-Bama is one of the top beach bars in the world, and under Florida guidelines has no COVID restrictions. Planning on a bachelor or bachelorette party? Then come do it on the line. Find out more at Flora-Bama.com.
It's time to get back to the great outdoors, to making memories, to feeling like yourself again. The world may have slowed down, but here in Sevierville, Tennessee, we know that just means there's more time to enjoy it all. It's time to get back to the Smoky Mountains. And when getting there brings you back, you know you're in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here. Learn more about traveling safely at visitsevierville.com.
This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. It's brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling is a sixth-generation company, and Cheryl Yuengling, who is part of the company's ownership, is a proud Alabama grad. There is a little crimson love in each one of those green bottles, and this time of year, you guys got to try the new Hershey's Chocolate Porter. So good. Hey, today's game story segment is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Alabama, LSU meet again, and last year, Tigers beat the Crimson Tide. They made it. They talked a lot about it on the center of the field, taunted Alabama's recruits, and in the locker room released a video of Coach O talking a lot of smack. And we got the rematch, 7 o'clock, Death Valley, Alabama, and LSU. He's Kyle Henderson, the managing editor of BamaInsider.com, and I'm Mick Gillespie. Great to have all of you guys with us. We talked to Jared Roser from Tiger Droppings. That's the LSU rival site. Here's our conversation. Great to have Eric Roser from Tiger Droppings on. I'm Mick Gillespie with Kyle Henderson. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. It's brought to you by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. Jared, thanks for coming on, man. I've been honestly really excited about this matchup for the last 15 plus years. It's been a big one since Nick Saban came to Tuscaloosa. The years that LSU won national championships, Alabama's really fought them hard, and it's like last year no different. But what a magical season it was for the Tigers a year ago.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to be around that team last year. And I mean, I'd been around the LSU program in different capacities for different media outlets for years, but I can't remember it being as enjoyable as watching a record-setting offense and all the storylines of those guys last year, all the way up to a national championship. And so it's made this year all the more interesting, with obviously a weird year all around with COVID and the pandemic and quarantine for months. And now an LSU team that lost a ton from that roster and has continued to lose quite a bit throughout this season, just trying to kind of keep things going and get back on the right side of things, because it's been inconsistent at best and probably more of a struggle than I think anyone even realized, even with those losses.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought losing Joe Brady was a big one. I mean, everybody talks about, Joe Heisman, Joe quarterback, but I thought Joe Brady was the toughest one to lose going to the NFL and leaving. And it was like, to me, and you're there every day, but to me, his infusion last year was a big difference maker.
I actually had a conversation with a coaching friend yesterday about that, and just Joe Brady versus Joe Burrow, and which one, kind of just a hypothetical, which one meant more, because obviously it doesn't matter. They both combined to get the job done. And I think at the end of the day, for that 2019 team, the whole was bigger than the sum of the parts, so to speak, and they just all worked so well together. I think personally, if they have Burrow without Brady, that I still like their potential title chances more than Brady without Burrow, just because Burrow, I think, was really big for that team in a lot of ways beyond just being a fantastic quarterback as well. But I think it's definitely a really interesting conversation and hypothetical to have, because people saw Joe Burrow every Saturday doing the things he was doing and putting up those numbers. And so sometimes Brady's significance gets lost, but both were hugely integral to that success.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, what's the story with this year's team? I mean, I read the article in The Athletic. It's talking about this Tigers team being one of the worst defending national champions in the last 50 years, and kind of had them as defending national champs. Look, in college, you're not defending. I mean, it's a totally different team every year. But let's just, for sake of conversation, we'll say defending. They're historically bad for a team that was as great as they were last year. And I'm not using the term good. I'm using the term great.
Yeah, I think it's been kind of a perfect storm of sorts where I didn't go back 50 years, but before the season I went back 20, basically as far back as I was able to find some of the starting lineups from national championships and then the next year's roster available online. And there was no other team coming off of a national championship since 2000 that, again, was as far back as I could go, that had lost more starters and returned fewer starters from a national championship game. And most others weren't even close. The only one that was in the same ballpark was after Cam Newton and Auburn won in 2011 and the turnover from that, or 2010 to 2011 or whatever it was. Yeah. And again, not many others were close. And so even coming into the season, there were some issues there from the roster turnover. You just mentioned Joe Brady went off to the Carolina Panthers in the NFL. Dave Aranda left to take the head coaching job at Baylor. So of the three coordinators kind of that LSU had last year, they were replacing 2/3 of that group, as well as some other assistant coaches, all during a pandemic and, a weird off season. And then you get into fall camp and there were a couple of COVID outbreaks and quarantine issues where suddenly this young team adjusting to new coordinators and didn't have a spring is missing huge chunks of their roster for 2 weeks here or 2 weeks there. And so it was a struggle to get these guys ready to play. And then they had some more transfers last minute. They've had some more guys suffer injuries or opt out during the season. And so they're at a point where they lost a ton of top end talent on staff and on the roster. And they're also now down in the mid 60s in terms of just scholarship players on the roster as a whole from a depth perspective. And so it's a really bad recipe if you're trying to win some SEC football games.
Eric Rosers with Tiger Droppings. That's the Rivals LSU site. You're listening to the BamaInsider Tailgate Show with Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. Whether you're watching on YouTube television or if you're listening on Jocks 2 Radio in Birmingham, we really appreciate you guys. Alabama-LSU, 7 o'clock kickoff. Huge game every year. What was the deal with Terrence Marshall opting out now? It just seemed kind of peculiar to me. You play, against Texas A&M, have a big week. This is the biggest game that the Tigers play every year, and it just seemed kind of I don't know, bad for I thought, like, when you start something, you finish something. Maybe I'm old school in that aspect. Look, I know that it's a 28-point spread, and I know that this guy's, according to Mel Kiper, a first-round pick, fourth receiver, 24, 28 range in the draft. But I mean, I'm old school. I think when you start something, you finish something.
And I'm typically more, I guess, progressive with regards to stuff like this, and I support just the opportunity and kind of the risk reward scenario that players and their families have to get to and realize that they're on the cusp of some multi-generational life-changing money and what kind of risks are at play there. The thing that was interesting to me in this case in particular was that Terrace just a week or two ago got in front of the team and tried to rally them together about the importance of finishing the season strong and just taking pride in representing LSU and despite everything that has happened and sort of the struggles on the field. And so the juxtaposition and sort of Coach O has called it a change of heart from that conversation to then opt out a week or so later was kind of interesting to me. But a lot of his teammates have spoken up and supported his decision. Coach O said that they had a conversation the Sunday morning after that Texas A&M game, and that as much as they hate to see Terrace go and would love to have him for these remaining 3 games, that they support his decision and understand and appreciate the way he came to them and talked about it again. So at the end of the day, if everybody over there is saying those sort of things, I kind of let it go and don't fault a guy.
Eric Rosers with Tiger Droppings. You're listening to the BamaInsider Tailgate Show, brought to you by Yingling Lager. All right, is Coach O on the hot seat?
No, I mean, certainly not from a football standpoint. And obviously, folks that have seen some of the other reports with the USA Today issues going on at LSU, I think there's going to be a lot under the microscope in terms of off-field issues and whether any of that stems back to Coach O or if it was all the previous regime. And and things that maybe that these coaches didn't know about. But from a football standpoint, I think as frustrated as some fans have gotten, and some fans have gotten with Coach O, a lot more of the ire there tends to go towards Bo Pelini or some of the assistants, because at the end of the day, as long ago as it feels right now in 2020, they won a national championship just 11 months ago, less than 11 months ago. And so you hear some frustrations, but I think from a purely football standpoint, they watched this guy who a lot of people didn't think could build a national championship team when he was hired do so, and now are going to understand that this is a little bit of a down year and it's also a weird year, and give him an opportunity to build this thing back up and trust in that process again.
What's Nick Saban's legacy with LSU and at LSU with the fans?
I think that's kind of a mixed deal too, because a lot of people here are still really frustrated and hate him, and he's kind of public enemy number one as much as anyone can be for a lot of LSU fans. I think other fans, particularly now that some more time has been put between his departure and another national championship has been brought to Baton Rouge, that there's more of a respect for what he meant in terms of moving this program forward and building the foundation in a lot of ways for what came under Les Miles and now Coach O.
All right, last question quickly. Recruiting battles, Alabama and LSU. We saw it with Sage Ryan. Are there any battles that you're keeping an eye on going into this game or before signing day?
Yeah, I mean, LSU, a lot of its class is kind of hashed out, and I don't know that Bama is the chief rival in some of the remaining chases in terms of Mason Smith, the big defensive tackle on the Bayou down in Terrebonne. Alabama remains involved. I think Georgia has been very heavily involved with Mason and with Corey Foreman, the big defensive end from out in California that has built a really strong friendship with Mason. But I wouldn't be surprised to see if it comes down to a couple instances where maybe LSU, Alabama, and a Georgia or an Auburn is involved with, I guess, being the finalist for some guys like that, or Marius McGee, who just recently decommitted from Tennessee, or Armani Goodwin, the recent decommitment from that Auburn class, who says that Auburn's still in his top three. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple other SEC West schools in that battle down the stretch.
Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, man.
All right, there we go. Jared Roser from LSU and the LSU rival site. Hey, guys, let me tell you something right now. Our friends at Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey have hooked up the swag. We're at the Flora-Bama. That's right on the line. I mean, I could walk out to the beach from where I'm sitting right now. Perdido Key, Orange Beach. We invite you. We'll be back next week for Alabama and Arkansas, 6 to 8 on Friday night. So come hang out with us. Got some Daniel Moore calendars here as well with some awesome Screwball stuff. These are available at New Life Art. This is Nick Saban on here. Paintings of the Saban era from 2007, 2020. But we're having a good time down here. Also, I want to tell you this. The BamaInsider Tailgate Show is presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sonata, SUVs like the Tucson. Tailgating does not get any better. When we come back, we're going to talk to Andrew Bone. We're going to get you updated on recruiting for the Crimson Tide heading into the LSU game. With Kyle Henderson, I'm Mick Gillespie. More BamaInsider Tailgate Show coming up.
Introducing Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Now available wherever beer is sold. PG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Genesis of Tuscaloosa, Alabama's first Genesis dealer, is a proud sponsor of Crimson Tide football and pleased to announce another first, the all-new 2021 GV80, the newest luxury SUV from Genesis, arriving soon. Be first to call and reserve your spot to experience the new standard of luxury in Tuscaloosa, the all-new 2021 Genesis GV80. See our full luxury lineup at Genesis of Tuscaloosa, the corner of Skyland and Hargrove. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the Bama Insider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers, featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Hey fam, this is Kyle Henderson with BamaInsider.com, reminding you to join Mick Gillespie and me right after the game on the Bama Insider YouTube channel for the Bama Insider postgame show. We'll break down the game with instant analysis, have Nick Saban's press conference, and take your calls and comments. That's the Bama Insider postgame show right after Alabama plays on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. See you there. Please join us tonight for the Bama Insider postgame show on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Roll Tide Roll.
That's right. Roll Tide Roll with Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We're talking to you live from the Flora-Bama in Orange Beach, Alabama. Getting you set for Alabama and LSU, 7 o'clock kickoff from Tiger Stadium. This segment's brought to you by our friends at Hotel Indigo in Tuscaloosa right there on the Black Warrior River. I want to remind all you guys as if that are watching, right? Or maybe you're listening on Jackson and you're going to go home and get on YouTube TV and you're going to watch the Bama Insider channel. Like with a little thumbs up, subscribe, and we really appreciate you guys being a huge part of our show. Hey, this show is brought to you by our friends at Bama Buggies. Bama Buggies is a touchdown for anyone looking for an ATV, a Sea-Doo, motorcycle, side-by-side. Hunting season is here. It is upon us. It's open. Bama Buggies has you covered. Find out for yourself at BamaBuggies.com. We had our buddy Barry Buckner on with us last week. This is one of the best dealerships for all this stuff in the country, and you got it right there in Tuscaloosa, BamaBuggies.com. He's Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie, and it's great to bring on Andrew Bone, our recruiting expert, the guru himself, Kyle, to talk about what's going on in the world of recruiting. What's up, Bone?
What's up, guys? How we doing tonight?
Kyle's good. I'm good. We're everyone down here in Baldwin County, right on the water. They're wondering where Andrew Bone is. They want a book signing down here. I don't know what to tell them.
I need to get down there quickly.
Well, let's talk recruiting. I'll start it off. Kyle, you jump in on the second question. Update us on the latest with Alabama's 2021 class. I know there's some new 5-stars, a lot of happenings in recruiting for Alabama this week.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Alabama currently sitting with the number one recruiting class in the country, and we're less than 2 weeks away from that early signing period. The early signing period on December the 16th, and Alabama has a great recruiting class so far, but they really can add some more star power to it. And there's a few guys that are out there that plan on announcing. We just saw actually earlier today. Kamar Wheaton, 5-star running back number one running back in the country out of Texas, has narrowed his list down to 2 schools, Alabama and Oklahoma, and is going to be announcing his decision actually on December the 23rd. So stretching it out a little bit later, so he won't be doing it during that early signing period. So he's going to announce on December 23rd, so everybody will be tuned in on that. But, as of right now, I kind of think that Kamar Wheaton, probably more of an Oklahoma lean, hasn't been back to Tuscaloosa since summer of 2019. Of course, this has been a weird year with COVID, and a lot of recruits haven't been able to visit many schools. But I just think that Oklahoma has kind of been in the driver's seat for him from the get-go. But he's also, a kid that doesn't really talk to anybody, doesn't talk to the media, doesn't really talk to coaching staff. Just kind of lets his coaches handle everything, and it just kind of keeps things pretty tight-lipped. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what he does. But from everything that we've gathered, it seems like he's Oklahoma's to lose. Xavier Worthy, one of the top wide receivers in the country out of California, visited Alabama last weekend for the Iron Bowl and put out this week that he's going to be making a final decision on the 16th between Alabama and Michigan. He's been committed to Michigan since about July. I think it was in June or July. I can't remember the exact date, but been committed since the summer and strongly interested in Alabama. So this is going to be, very intriguing to kind of see what happens. Obviously, being down in Tuscaloosa last weekend for the Iron Bowl and seeing, that Alabama offense and knowing what's kind of been going on at Michigan, all year, they've just struggled pretty mightily. So be interesting to see what he ends up doing, but I think Alabama has a very legitimate chance to flip his commitment. A couple other guys that plan on announcing decisions in the next 2 weeks. You have Tumise Adelier, the 5-star defensive end out of the Houston area. Still a top 3, Alabama, Texas A&M. Florida's right behind those 2 schools, in my opinion, right now. And from what we're hearing, probably going to take a visit over to Gainesville next weekend. So we'll be paying pretty close attention to that visit, see if anything changes after that trip, because he visited Alabama for the Iron Bowl, and it seemed like a lot of momentum had shifted in Alabama's favor. So you never know. Once these kids maybe visit another school, if the momentum's going to shift again. So we'll be paying pretty close attention to that. And then Xavier Worthy, Xavier Sorey. We got Xavier and Xavier, 2 of Alabama's top 4, remaining targets. But this is Xavier Sorey, the 4-star linebacker, Rivals 100 linebacker out of IMG Academy. I was going to make that decision also on the 16th between Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. I think it's more of an Alabama-Georgia recruiting battle for him. I know Florida's in it. He's visited Florida and likes Florida a lot, but I think it's more of an out-of-state battle for him at this point. He visited Alabama for the Iron Bowl. Alabama's got a chance. I know going into that visit, I think Georgia was in the driver's seat. So we'll see what happens. Those are kind of the main guys who are going to be making decisions, in the next few weeks. A lot of kids to kind of follow. And, Alabama has, all of their commitments pretty locked in. I really don't see any flips happening in their recruiting class. I know there's a few guys who are still being heavily pursued by other programs, hoping to try to flip them before, the 16th. But if Alabama can keep all those guys intact, all of those guys plan on signing on the 16th. So they'll have, the majority of its recruiting class wrapped up here in the next few weeks.
Hey, Bone, real quick, as we look at kind of recruiting battles between Alabama and LSU, there's been several. There's several every single year. Real quick, kind of hit on Mason Smith and kind of what an added addition that would be to this tremendous class of 2021.
Yeah, that's another guy that, failed to mention. I guess just because he didn't visit Alabama for the Iron Bowl. I was thinking about Iron Bowl visitors. So Mason Smith, number 1 defensive lineman, number 1 overall player in the Rivals 100, going to be making that decision. And, it seems like it's more of an Alabama, LSU, Georgia recruiting battle for him. With everything going on down at LSU right now, the sexual misconduct allegations, is that going to affect some of these recruits? May not affect the recruits, but a mom or a grandmother or somebody reading these stories, or a dad reading these stories, they may say, this is something that we really need to consider. We need to really think about it and put this as a factor in making our decision. So you just don't know if that's going to play a factor. When they really sit down and try to break down, which school they're going to choose. So, Mason Smith certainly in the hunt or Alabama certainly in the hunt for Mason Smith. And, Alabama's doing a great job this year in terms of, winning some key recruiting battles. Now there's some key guys that are, down the stretch. Can they pull these guys out? Pull these guys out? We just don't know yet. Mason Smith's going to be tough being a Louisiana kid. Many people have felt like he was, LSU used to lose the entire time. So we'll see what happens there. And then, another guy that committed to LSU over Alabama a few weeks ago, Sage Ryan, 5-star safety from Louisiana. I know that Alabama is still, trying to flip him, hoping for a miracle there. So that's something that we're also continuing to watch pretty closely to see if, he potentially decides to flip, or maybe if he even decides to hold off from signing in December and waiting until February.
All right, Bone, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you next week. That's Andrew Bone, our recruiting expert for the site, BamaInsider.com. Hey, guys, we're at the Flora-Bama Open and getting ready for Alabama and LSU. We're going to be back here for the Arkansas game next week. They've got live music daily on 3 stages. Oysters, I had some today. They're fresh and available. They've got the bar open from 11 a.m. until 3 a.m. Free bingo Monday through Friday from 1 to 4. And come get your bushwhackers. We're actually going to have Jen, who works for Flora-Bama, bring us one next segment. So bushwhackers, we got tons of TV to watch, football and all that stuff. And don't forget, after the game, you got Kyle and the Bama Insider post game. During the game, you got Kyle and the watch party, all that on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. When we come back, we're going to talk about what we do here at the Flora-Bama, and we got Reagan from R&R Cigar. More Bama Insider Tailgate Show coming up.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Genesis of Tuscaloosa, Alabama's first Genesis dealer, is a proud sponsor of Crimson Tide football and pleased to announce another first, the all-new 2021 GV80, the newest luxury SUV from Genesis, arriving soon. Be first to call and reserve your spot to experience the new standard of luxury in Tuscaloosa, the all-new 2021 Genesis GV80. See our full luxury lineup at Genesis of Tuscaloosa, the corner of Skyland and Hargrove, genesisoftuscaloosa.com.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide. Switching your job is stressful. Switching your schools is painful, but switching your insurance to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you call one local agent who can assist you with all your policies and make your paperwork simple. Here in Tuscaloosa and Northport, Allstate agent Andrew Knifer can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, motorcycle, or even RV, ATV, and snowmobile. Stop by Andrew Knifer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard. Are you in good hands? Prices vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Great to have you with us. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We're getting you ready for Alabama and LSU. That game kicks off at 7 o'clock with Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. Jennifer Parnell joins us from the Flora-Bama, hanging out right here. What's up? I mean, this is normally we do the Mick and Brick beer review, and then we're going to bring Reagan on. Kyle's back there jealous right now. This is what I tried to do. You see Kyle back there. I got him a screwball hat.
They're great-looking hats.
I know. This one's for Kyle. This is definitely your style, Kyle. Look at that. That's definitely your swag style. But one thing I can't send you that she brought me was this bushwhacker with – this is a floater right here. Have you ever heard of these before?
Oh, my goodness. I'm jealous now.
You pour it inside this and then drink it. But the problem is that you made this thing all the way to the top.
Well, you know, it's like a little refresher appetizer. You get a little bit down, then you pour it in there, and it's like a whole new drink.
Down here on the coast, right, which is like we're L.A. We call it L.A., right?
Yeah, Lower Alabama.
Lower Alabama. You got to do stuff like this, Kyle. You take the floater, you put it on the shot. But hanging out at the Flora-Bama, it's always fun to be here. You got some big Earls over there playing right now. That's like the big act down here. It's so much fun, though. What do you guys got going on?
Well, we always say good times, good music. So it's always a good time when you come to Flora-Bama for sure. And there's always live music. I mean, we're open 365 days a year with live music every single day. So there's always something to do. But we also have events going on. I mean, we're fortunate to be operating out of Florida. So we've got all kinds of stuff coming up. New Year's Eve is going to be huge at the Flora-Bama.
Kyle, bring you and the wife come down, man. We got tickets for you.
Oh, yeah. And then on New Year's Day, right after you've been having fun all night, you jump in the water for polar bear dip, which I think everyone's going to be super excited to do to wash away 2020 and then jump into 2021.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do the run this year. I mean, I was signed up for
good. You're going to make it to the line?
Yeah, I was going to do that. I was going to do the other one, and then the COVID canceled it. So
yeah, I
run every day. Kyle runs every day, too. We're like a couple of fitness guys.
And then you drink beer.
Yeah. Sam wants to know what your score is for Bama-LSU. Let me say this. She's an Auburn fan, but she found out the hard way that this Alabama team's pretty good.
Yeah, we got, pounded a little bit last week. It wasn't the best Iron Bowl for me. So you want my score for the game?
Give Sam your score.
All right. I do think that Alabama's going to win. I'm going to go with 40-17.
40-17. Wait, 17, way too high. But look, what I will tell you guys is that these bushwhackers will sneak up on you. I found out the hard way years ago with Jennifer and John McKinnis, who's part of the ownership here. But thanks for having us, and we're coming back next week.
Oh, we want you back all the time. Thanks for being here.
Come on, guys. And you guys come down and hang out with us. Kyle, we had a chance to catch up with Reagan, and I guess we'll play that right now. Great to have Reagan Starner from R&R Cigars. Not one, but two shops now as you listen to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show with Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. Congratulations, man. I mean, we've talked about it on the show already, but you're starting to put together, an establishment that's going to stretch across Tuscaloosa and points beyond. You got
Northport.
the mansion in T-Town. You're in Northport now?
Very important.
Expansion.
Yeah, it's very important. It was very important to be in Northport. So that way we're in Tuscaloosa and in Northport. So, we're really excited about it. We're about 2 weeks away from having a bar. It just takes, unfortunately, we're at the mercy of whenever the Northport City Council can meet. But in about 2 weeks, we'll have a full bar. But right now you can come in and you can buy cigars, you can smoke cigars. You can have, all the fun you can have at the mansion, just without alcohol.
Yeah, and plus it's convenient too if you're going to North River, or, that direction out there. You can kind of slip in and get your cigars and head out too, even if you're not there for a drink. I mean, it's just a convenient spot right there next to Winn-Dixie. So
yeah,
congratulations! Opened up on Black Friday. Reagan, you text me today and you're like, "Hey, Mick, I think that they should do the college football playoff in Tuscaloosa." And I thought about it, and I'm like, "Look, why not?" Right?
Well, I feel like they should. I mean, we came out today. California said no fans at the Rose Bowl, which I think is just an insult to everybody. But California's California. They're the left coast. They're going to do what they want to do out there. So I got to thinking and put my thinking cap on, and I said, hey, why don't teams get a home field game for the semifinal? Imagine the matchup if you had Clemson and Notre Dame, or Clemson and Ohio State, and Alabama and Notre Dame, or as a home game for the semifinal. The local communities have been hurt the most out of all of this, madness. So they're leaving a ton. I mean, the SEC championship game is $70 million worth of economic impact for the city of Atlanta. Imagine if Tuscaloosa had a $70 million economic impact of a semifinal game. How much that would benefit the city of Tuscaloosa. So I texted Walt, the mayor. I texted Walt and I said, hey, how cool would it be? Just spitballing here, but what if Tuscaloosa bid on hosting a semifinal game? Like Atlanta does for the Rose Bowl, or, like Asheville hosted the Maui Invitational.
Yeah.
There's alternate sites, but at the end of the day, I think fans should be able to go to these games. And that's the big thing, is that if you're going to play the games, play them in a place where fans can go. And I think that's kind of what's bugged me about a lot of the sports this season, especially with baseball. And I mean, you're a huge baseball guy, but if you were in the AL, you couldn't have fans. If you were in the NL, you could have fans for the championship series. And I wish that baseball would have moved the games out of the MLB would have moved the games out of California. Because I think was there even a California team in there? I don't think so.
No.
But they made the Yankees and the Rays go all the way to California to play baseball. That made no sense. But I mean, you're talking about sending one of these four teams, Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, or Ohio State. You're going to send two of those teams to California to go play football in front of no fans, when those teams could have stayed home and actually benefited their local communities and allowed their fans to watch the game. And for me, I think it's really about that economic impact for these cities.
Yeah.
This is a weird year. Why not? Everybody's been saying shop local for the last couple weeks because of, Small Business Saturday. Well, you know what? Maybe it'd be great if the NCAA and the SEC decided to say, hey, you know what? Let's shop local this season, and let's play these games where these schools are from and help out those local communities.
Yeah, you make a good point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the college football playoff. I mean, you're known for your hot takes. I mean, the fact that, your school, Liberty, can't play because of COVID, and now BYU sliding into that spot to play Coastal Carolina. Does this help BYU kind of sneak in now if they win this football game? I mean, do you give them a little bit of credibility? Maybe they jump past some of these other schools like Cincinnati, or does it matter what happens?
No, I don't think so. Truthfully, I think that the playoff should be SEC versus the ACC. I think it should be Clemson and Notre Dame, assuming Clemson beats Notre Dame. But if Clemson beats Notre Dame, it should be Alabama's in regardless, Clemson and Notre Dame, and either Texas A&M if Florida loses to Alabama, or Florida beats Alabama. I think that those are your four teams. It's if Alabama wins, they're in. If Alabama loses, they're in. If Notre Dame loses, they're in. If Notre Dame wins, they're in. If Clemson loses, they're out. If Florida loses, they're out. But I think that it should be if Clemson wins and if Florida wins, it should be an SEC ACC national championship, and let the two SEC teams host the games in Florida where they can have fans and in Alabama where they can have fans, and give that money back. Let that money come back to these schools where it actually matters. Does anybody think that it matters to LA right now if they get a $70 million economic impact? And do we really want to be subsidizing LA right now? I don't think so. I definitely don't.
Right. Keep it at home.
We subsidize them all the time. Why should we do it with our college football money? They didn't even want to play. They didn't even want to play football. They got bullied into playing the season anyway. But guess what? All the money from the SEC and the ACC and the Big Ten, it's going to go to LA and going to go to California, who tried to keep us out of playing college football. And it pisses me off.
All right, that's Reagan from R&R Cigars. Kyle Henderson, I'm Mick Gillespie. Reagan always giving those hot takes. Kyle, tell us about this $75 membership deal.
Well, you can go to BamaInsider.com. We got plenty of promos that you could choose from. We just ended the $75 promo, but we do have special promos going on. Free 30 days at BamaInsider.com. When you go to the website, simple promo code is Roll Tide at checkout.
All right, well, you guys, now's the time to do it. You got the holidays coming, and Bama Insider's got you covered. And I'm hearing that there could be up to 12 coaches that are out for Alabama against LSU because of COVID.
There's certainly going to be some assistant coaches that are not going to be on the sidelines or up in the booth, however you want to spin it. I don't know which coaches those are. I do know that there's some coaches that have come down with COVID here in the last couple of days before this LSU game. So the good news is Nick Saban is back. Last week he beat Auburn from his recliner, and right now Alabama will be without some assistants, but I think all the players should be good to go, and I think Alabama still covers that enormous spread going into the Bayou.
Hey, guys, don't forget, Kyle's going to have his watch party, Bama Insider YouTube channel. That's during the game. You basically just throw that on, hang out with Kyle, watch the game, and then afterwards, Kyle will be taking your calls and talking about what happens between Alabama and LSU. The Crimson Tide are ranked number 1. They've got a little payback coming to LSU. I've played the video all week. All you got to do is go and check out any of our shows that I'm on, and you'll see Ed Orgeron on there at the center of Alabama's football field at Bryant-Denny, saying that from now on, this is our house. I got a feeling that Nick Saban is not going to forget that. Also, guys, I want to tell you that R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. Best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. R&R Cigar is home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar and Angels Envy Bourbon. Angels Envy Bourbon cigar for just $10. Tell them Mick sent you. 2703 6th Street, Tuscaloosa, downtown near Home to Suites, cigarmansion.com. And don't forget, they got the new location now in Northport, right there where the Winn-Dixie is in that shopping center. And that's an easy hit, too. North River, going out towards County High, all those areas, Northridge High School. You can hit that on the way home and grab your cigar. All right, we had a good time, man. 1 hour in the books from the Flora-Bama here in L.A., Lower Alabama. The Flora-Bama right on the line between Florida and Alabama. We got another hour, and we're going to be back next week as well. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show, second hour right after this.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Special purchase, 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989. First come, first served while they last. Tuscaloosa Hyundai has made a special purchase of new Tucsons starting at $19,989. All with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty, no charge. Over 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989.
It's why you drive home happy.
Exclusively at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove.
Switching your job is stressful. Switching your schools is painful. But switching your insurance to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you call one local agent who can assist you with all your policies and make your paperwork simple. Here in Tuscaloosa and Northport, Allstate agent Andrew Conifer can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, motorcycle, or even RV, ATV, and snowmobile. Stop by Andrew Conifer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard. Are you in good hands? Prices vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availabilities.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the BamaInsider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Experience the true spirit of Tuscaloosa at Hotel Indigo, downtown's first waterfront hotel overlooking the Black Warrior River. Hotel Indigo is perfectly located near a myriad of unique shops, restaurants, and the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. You rolling with the tide? Hotel Indigo is less than a mile from the University of Alabama. The Lookout Bar on the roof of Hotel Indigo is the best place in Tuscaloosa to enjoy great views, appetizers, and spirits with friends. Book Hotel Indigo now and enjoy the best of Tuscaloosa.
This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show with Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. Thanks for joining us. The Tailgate Show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. Alabama takes on LSU. Death Valley, Tiger Stadium, game broadcast, CBS, 7 o'clock Central Time. He's the managing editor of BamaInsider.com. I'm Mick Gillespie, just a normal citizen hanging out with the great Kyle. And before we get into this Alabama-LSU game, thanks whether you're watching on YouTube TV, thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, or if you're listening on Jocks 2 Radio, we really appreciate you guys being part of the show. Maybe you downloaded the podcast. However you get it, we love the fact that you're here with us tonight talking Alabama football. Sevierville has 4 different self-guided fall tours that help guide you through the back roads and highlight the historical points of interest and beautiful fall views. You can find maps, videos, and more. Make your plans at visitsevierville.com/fall. Also, this is a naturally socially distanced activity. When you're driving yourself around in your own vehicle, you got Sevierville Winterfest, right? That's Smoky Mountain Winterfest began on November 13th, and it continues through February 22nd. There are millions of lights along the parkway in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. I've spent like the last, I'd say 3 or 4 Christmases there, by the way. It's amazing this time of year. Guests can also enjoy Winterfest attractions like Shadrick's Christmas Wonderland. That's where you drive through, and they've got all the Christmas lights at Smoky Stadium up there, November 13th through January 3rd. It's 1.5 miles of LED Christmas lights with music that goes with it. Also, Wilderness at the Smokies has an indoor check that outdoor ice skating rink. So that's a lot of fun. We're at the Flora-Bama here in Lower Alabama, right on the line and the beach between Florida and Alabama. Our show's brought to you by Yingling Lager. Kyle Henderson, Mick Gillespie. Kyle, with all that said, we're going to talk Alabama and LSU. This is a big matchup, but the fans, they're calling for this. I got to play it before you get in, before you say anything else, because we got to make the people happy.
Everybody. Hey, we've been waiting for this moment, man. Let's go. Right here in the middle of the damn field. Let's bring it down, Tigers on 3. Hell yeah. Because this is our house from now on. Yes, sir. Tigers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
This is our house from now on.
You know, it's it'll be short-lived. You know, it was once in a blue moon. Every dog has its day, right? You look at, you know, now this season, because it's always last season doesn't matter. And going into this game, Alabama favored by 30 points or whatever it is. The mission is clear. Alabama wants perfection every single time they step onto the fields. Ed Orgeron, you know, I guarantee you, he said he wanted to play Alabama, but as soon as that game was postponed, he was feeling good. And then when that game got rescheduled, he wasn't feeling as good. And with Alabama now, you know, less than 24 hours away, if you're watching Friday night or if you're listening in the afternoon on radio, Alabama's coming for LSU down in the Bayou, and I think it's going to be everything that Alabama fans want to see. I think Mac Jones is going to continue to display and orchestrate this offense like the best quarterback in all of college football. I think Devontae Smith has another shining moment as he, you know, inches closer to 40 career touchdowns, which is mind-blowing. And I think Najee Harris, you know, he's kind of that catalyst of the offensive component with the run game. And you're going to see this defense continue to rise. So in a short amount of time, all of that 2019, you know, bad mouth taste will be erased, and Alabama will be cruising to 9-0 on the season.
Kyle, let me ask you this: how sweet is revenge?
It's about as sweet as that peanut butter whiskey, right? I mean, that I think honestly, I mean, when you first introduced me to that, my goodness, I think that you know, it changed a lot of things in the Henderson household. But I think it is sweet, you know. And Nick Saban says that that's not something that he even coaches on, because this was another mic drop. He's like, let's just face it. And he said he didn't want to feel facetious in saying it. He's like, just nobody really beats us. So he's like, you don't really even have to go back and try for the revenge factor. But in this particular game, knowing that everything's on the line, look, LSU and Alabama, they are rivals. They compete for the same prospects. LSU is going to land their guys. I mean, you look at kind of past recruiting battles. You know, we've talked with Andrew Bone leading into this game. A guy that Alabama would love to have on their roster right now is Eric Gilbert. He straight up chose LSU over Alabama. Sage Ryan is another guy, but you can go back and forth, you know, depending on these guys. I know you and Bone talked about some of the top players from Louisiana that went to Alabama. Eddie Lacy, Landon Collins, plenty of guys in between. But, you know, I think a couple guys from Louisiana are certainly going to shine against Baton Rouge. And a lot of people forget that Devontae Smith, right out of Aimite, Louisiana, and kind of the career that he's had at Alabama.
Hey, it's Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, and we love hanging out with you guys. Thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube television. Subscribe to our channel. It is one of the hottest channels on YouTube right now, and it's because of you guys. You guys are subscribing. You're a part of it. We're throwing out shows all week long, and then, you know, obviously this one to get you ready for Alabama and LSU. All right, Kyle, this is presumptuous. I know that, okay? But if Alabama's in position to pour it on, do they do it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you go into Baton Rouge and kind of considering the fact that we talked about this earlier on the show. I mean, it's amazing that LSU hasn't scored at their own stadium, Death Valley, considering how difficult that of a place that is to play since 2014. I mean, where were you in 2014, right? I mean, ask everyone that. So what Alabama's been able to do in Baton Rouge speaks volumes. And I think if Nick Saban has an opportunity, you know, to really step on Ed Orgeron, he's certainly going to do that. He's not going to come out publicly and say that because Nick Saban's always taking the high road, but he'll let his players do their thing. And I think Alabama, in some classy way, will somehow step on the throat of the lion. And, you know, they won't be saying hold that tiger very long come Saturday night.
Mac Jones' Heisman race is strong. And I mean, look, you got to also consider Devontae Smith in there too. I mean, he's an outside contender for the Heisman. Can one of those two guys, I guess mostly Mac, really just because, he's one of the big favorites, can they have their Heisman moment in a game like this?
I think, from here on out, any one of those guys can really continue to shine. I don't know if to me, a Heisman moment is in a big time game. And I kind of look to that Florida game. I know that's rat poison because we're overlooking LSU and we're overlooking Arkansas. But, I love the fact that Kyle Trask and Mac Jones are paired up against each other to play for the SEC championship. I think they'll be able to duel out for the Heisman Trophy Award. Look, nobody wants, the biggest, everybody wants the biggest award, which is a national championship. But if you can add another Heisman Trophy to, the trophy case at Alabama, especially a quarterback, Mac Jones, and considering, how many of you out there thought about that the Alabama offense would be even better without Tua Tagovailoa, right? I mean, this was one of the best quarterbacks ever to come through Alabama. We all missed Tua when he left, and then Mac Jones has just continued to carry on that lineage of this high potency offense. And a lot of it stems from Steve Sarkisian, who was an interim coach for just one game and did a fantastic job. Now I get it. This program is completely rolling on all cylinders, but Mac Jones, what he's done has been very special. And I think he continues to stack on from the statistical aspect against LSU.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be an interesting matchup tomorrow, to say the least. Give us your Kyle Henderson's things to watch.
In this particular game, I'm looking at, continued production from the offense, clearly, right? I mean, all these big-time guys that we're talking about, but I want to continue to see this defense. And, what they've done over the last, 17, 18 quarters has been pretty phenomenal, the way that the defense has continued to rise up. I look for the defense to continue that trajectory of improving every single week under Pete Golding. I mean, Pete Golding is a guy who was under the microscope, from the get-go, and what he's been able to do since that halftime of Georgia has been fantastic. I'm also looking at kind of key storylines within the special teams to seek the continued improvement of Will Riker, who's been one of the kind of underlying storylines of this entire season. I mean, what he's done, the guy is kicking field goals like the top kicker in all of college football, and he's kicking his PATs, and Alabama fans can't really say that they've seen that in quite some time. So that's been really great to see. And then also, if there's some opportunities for some of these younger guys to get on the field, a lot of the defense has been led by some of these freshmen. Malachi Moore has been absolutely fantastic. William Anderson. I'm going to mention some other guys who are sophomores, but they're playing at a very high level. Christian Harris, who's from Baton Rouge. You got Jordan Battle, DeMarco Helms. A lot of those guys play an integral part to this defense. And so I really want to see that improvement from the defense as you get to this very important backstretch of the season.
All right, Kyle, it doesn't get any better than that. Throwing out the Nuggets. We're hanging out at the Flora-Bama here on the line, Orange Beach and Perdido Key. We got John McKinnis. He's one of the owners of the Flora-Bama that's going to come on and talk football with us, Kyle. He's going to help us make some picks here coming up. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Our show's brought to you by Yuengling Lager as well, and the Yuengling is definitely flowing here at the Flora-Bama tonight. And they want to remind everyone to come down, hang out. They don't have the COVID restrictions here. You obviously wear your mask and social distance, but it's fun. All the Christmas trees are up. They have the Christmas potluck. They got bingo every single day. They got live music on all the stages, and everything's cranked up. Hey, let me tell you guys this. Pearl River Resort and the Timeout Sports Lounge in Philadelphia gives you a great place to play the odds. Coming up next, we make our picks. We hear from Leonard Sluicer. We got Lance Taylor coming up. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We'll be right back.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yuengling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
When it comes to protecting all your stuff, wouldn't it be great to have one place that protects it all? Here's some good news. Tuscaloosa and Northport Allstate agent Andrew Kniffer is the only insurance agent you need to help keep tabs on protection for all your stuff. Everything from your home, car, boat, to your motorcycle, RV, snowmobile, and even ATV. Stop by Allstate agent Andrew Kniffer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard, or give Andrew a call at 205-722-9201. Are you in good hands?
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, football is fine art. Now at newlifeart.com, see Daniel A. Moore's new 2021 Crimson and White Fine Art Calendar, featuring 13 dynamic images of defining moments from the Saban era. As a special offer to listeners of this show, use coupon code ROLLTIDE for $5 off each calendar. To order yours, call 1-800-735-2787 or visit newlifeart.com today.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide.
Introducing Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Now available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Hey fam, this is Kyle Henderson with BamaInsider.com, reminding you to join Mick Gillespie and me right after the game on the Bama Insider YouTube channel for the Bama Insider postgame show. We'll break down the game with instant analysis, have Nick Saban's press conference, and take your calls and comments. That's the Bama Insider postgame show right after Alabama plays on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. See you there. Please join us tonight for the Bama Insider postgame show on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Roll Tide, roll.
We got Leonard Sluicer coming up, and Kyle, I guess we got Lance Taylor. I'm hanging out with John McInnes right here too. That's my partner, Kyle Henderson. We're doing it down here on the line, the Flora-Bama, and we're going to pick some games as well. But let's put Lance Taylor on to try to help us from Jocks and Lance's Lock, just to get us a little bit better at picking football games, because all of a sudden, Kyle, you've forged ahead of me.
All right, here we go. We got Lance right here.
It's great to have Lance Taylor from Jocks Roundtable and Lance's Lock join us like he does every week to help us with our picks. I need a lot of help, LT, after a strong start, rocky couple of weeks, and since Bama's playing the late game this week in Death Valley, very limited slate of activity to take a look at. But first off, how you been, man?
I'm good, man. Look, it's rocky everywhere for everybody, I think. We've been crushing the NFL. For whatever reason, college football Saturdays have just gotten a little tricky. And, we had a winning Saturday until A&M allowed LSU to get that backdoor touchdown. And I just didn't understand it. I don't know how you feel, Mick, about this Texas A&M team. They're sitting at number 5 in the college football rankings. And I think they're good. I don't know if they're really good, but Kellen Mond is just way too inconsistent. And the way he played this past Saturday against LSU in a completely dominating Texas A&M defense, to go 11-34, 105 yards, they should have won that game by 45 points. And instead they win by 13, and I get backdoored on that game. That was very, very disappointing, and it cost me a winning day. But, hey, we're back to hopefully move forward and have a big Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. If something, comes up and Ohio State misses one more game, having it canceled, the door's wide open for Texas A&M. And, the ACC's making it tough. And the reason I say that is that, they're shutting down Clemson and Notre Dame after this week. So, they're trying to set it up where maybe if Clemson beats Notre Dame, then they could have both of those teams in the college football playoff. But, A&M would have something to say about it. Clemson is taking on Virginia Tech. The Hokies are at home, and they're getting 22 points. That's a lot of points for a home team.
Mick, I go back a month ago, and I thought the way Hooker was playing and Khalil Herbert, I thought Virginia Tech was going to be a really, really scary game in Blacksburg for Clemson. But since, the numbers have caught up with them with COVID, they played 9 consecutive weeks. Justin Fuente came out and said, we're really a tired team. They've been pathetic against the number, 3-8, their last 11 outs. Now, they run the football almost as well as anybody. They're leading Power Fives right now, 251 rushing yards per game. But they're 1-31 versus top 5 teams. They've lost 12 straight in these situations. You look at Clemson, not that they've been good against the number, 3-6 against the spread in 2020, but they are 5-0 against Virginia Tech against the number under Dabo Swinney. It's a big number here. I hate to do it, Mick. I think I'm going to lay it. Trevor Lawrence, 32-1 as a starting quarterback. He's coming down the stretch, ending this Clemson career after his junior year. I think Clemson's just going to roll as much as they can. They're going to fight for seeding, and I like Clemson in this spot.
Yeah, plus if you're Trevor Lawrence, one of the last chances you're going to have to try to get that Heisman resume looking a little bit better. South Carolina, led by Mike Bobo, is at Kentucky. Kentucky's a tough team, but 11.5 points. And look, I know Kentucky plays good defense, and they're probably going to win that game, but 11.5 points, even as bad as South Carolina's been this year, seems high.
Yeah, look, they're 6-1 against the number under Mark Stoops against South Carolina. South Carolina looking to win in Lexington for the first time since 2012. And, Mick, I don't know about you. It looks like South Carolina's just tapped out. And I agree with you. Kentucky just doesn't look like they should be laying double digits to anyone. Kevin Harris is third in the SEC in rushing, over 103 yards per game. They're 0-5 against the number their last 5 games. And I will tell you, back in my early days of gambling, it got me in so much trouble playing a team that is due. I would continue to press the gas and say, hey, look, they haven't covered their last 3. They've got it. They're bound to cover their due. It would go 0-4. Now South Carolina's 0-5. But I kind of believe in the do factor here. I'm going to play South Carolina plus the points. I think Kentucky's good. They're just not good enough with Terry Wilson at quarterback. I think South Carolina at least scratches and claws and gets home on the number here.
Last week, one of the biggest wins of the college football weekend was Friday night when Oregon State on the last play, or maybe it was the second to last play, right at the end of the game, scored a touchdown and they beat Oregon. They're at Utah. Jake Bentley's now the quarterback at Utah, but they're 0-2. Yet Utah still giving up 10 points in this football game.
Yeah, Oregon State, I've said this before, Mick, and I don't know if you've heard me say it. Good coaches win, great coaches cover. Jonathan Smith, when he took the job, an Oregon State alum, I thought he was going to do a fantastic job, and I thought it would propel him to another Power 5 job. But, he might just be content and kind of in a Pat Fitzgerald Northwestern situation where he stays there for a long time. He's 12-3 against the number his last 15 out. And Jamar Jefferson is probably the best running back in college football nobody knows about. 4 straight 100-plus rushing yard games. He completely dominated that Oregon defense this past week. Still not sold on Jake Bentley getting used to this Utah offense. Utah's 0-2 for the first time since 2007. They have won 4 straight against Oregon State, including 52-7 last year. That Utah team, to me, was almost an elite team last year. I think it's much different this year. I like Oregon State in this spot.
We're not going to do a lock of the week, but we're going to pick Bama and LSU. Alabama down in Death Valley at night. I mean, that's a pretty scary place for any team to play. Although Alabama's a 28.5-point favorite in this football game. Terrence Marshall opted out. There were a lot of comments made by Ed Orgeron last year, center of Alabama's football field, in the locker room. I just feel like Nick Saban is ready to get back on the sideline. And when something like this happens to Alabama, it seems like, they lose, they come back in those revenge games. They take revenge. What do you think?
I agree with you, Mick. It's not like Alabama has a lot of these revenge games, and Nick Saban said as much in a press conference this past week. But I think they've got something to prove here. And if you want to get your guys up, you just remind them they came into Bryant-Denny last year. They said this is our house en route to winning a national championship. We had won 8 consecutive games against LSU. And watching LSU last week, again, they got home against the number against Texas A&M. They're a train wreck offensively. And I don't care who's the quarterback, TJ Finley or Max Johnson. They're not going to be able to move the ball against this Alabama defense, which has only given up 33 points over their last 4 games. They lead the SEC in scoring defense, giving up less than 19 points per game. LSU's pass defense, 13th in the SEC. And the only reason they're not dead last is because Kellen Mond was so bad last week. I think Mac Jones puts up tremendous numbers. I think Alabama's up 28-35 at half. I think they cruise on the cover here. I'm laying the points. I think Alabama rolls and they win big.
All right, thanks for the picks. Tell us about Lance's lock.
Mick, 5 consecutive winning weeks now in the NFL. We are crushing college basketball. The only thing that hasn't been consistent the last 3 weeks is college football Saturdays. We'll get it right this Saturday. We were 4-5 last Saturday. We should have had a winning Saturday. Again, Texas A&M cost us on that last backdoor touchdown from LSU. But we'll win for you. It's only $90 a month, $3 a day. Simple math. Lance'sLock.com. It's a great Christmas present. We've been killing it. We're in year 6. We will continue to win for you. Just check us out. We give you a free play every single day. It's Lance'sLock.com.
Well, howdy, fans, and welcome to week 13 of Leonard's Losers. The little smart bill machine was 7-3 last week with 3 COVID cancellations. Let's crank her up for this week's losers. Oregon State versus Utah. The Beavers paddle their way to Salt Lake for this Saturday night tussle with the Utes. The boys from Corvallis have some injury issues, especially at quarterback. The Beavs pulled off a big upset last week against arch-rival Oregon. Ute quarterback and former Gamecock Jake Bentley has to bring his A game if the home team can score their first victory. Leonard's loser, Utah. Clemson versus Virginia Tech. The number 3 Tigers leave the friendly confines of Death Valley looking to wrap up their spot in the ACC championship game. The Gobblers have struggled this year at 4-5 and best tighten their chin strap Saturday night because Tiger ain't been happy since the heart stopper against Notre Dame. Leonard's loser, Virginia Tech. South Carolina versus Kentucky. The Gamecocks at 2-7 head to the Bluegrass State with an interim coach looking to salvage the season with a win. With 5 wins between them, both are desperate. Mark Stoops' season hasn't gone as expected, and their offense has sputtered and will need to be adjusted. Leonard's loser, South Carolina. Alabama versus LSU. The Tide rolls into Baton Rouge Saturday night, hopefully with Coach Nick Saban aboard. The 2-3 Tigers are a 28-point dog, and to add to the Tigers' woes, their best offensive player, Terrence Marshall, announced Sunday he will skip the remainder of the season to prepare for the NFL spring draft. Coach O's woes continue, and Mike could lose some fangs in this one. Leonard's loser, LSU. Fans, that does it for week 13. Don't forget Santa is watching. And remember, if you can't wear a smile, wear a white hat so we can tell you from the bad guys. Get me out of here, pussy.
All right, there we go. Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. John McKinnis joins us. We're at his place, the Flora-Bama. Look at my gear right now.
Yeah, you're looking good, man. You got style.
Thanks, dude. Thanks. So, like, that's my partner, Kyle.
Kyle, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, John? Appreciate it.
Kyle's like forged ahead of me in the pick contest.
Oh, has he?
So we got to pick these games. You stick around and hang out with us. We're doing it on the line, right?
We're doing it on the line.
This place is like, since you took over, though, like you put it like it's not it used to be kind of like that really fun dump, and now it's nice.
So now it's a nice dump.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been coming here since I was 18, and unfortunately, I knew you back then probably. But, like, you guys have put so much into this place. It's bigger. You got the yacht club across the street. It's just like, and I was telling Jennifer earlier, like, new floor and new this and new that. Like, over the years, like, it's been hit by some hurricanes, got hit again this year.
Yeah.
This hurricane, like, you guys just were like, we're fine.
Well, I mean, it's basically plywood and 2x4s. You just throw up some new ones and you're good. Yeah.
Well, it looks great, man. It's always fun to come down here. Look, it doesn't matter what over the years what this place has looked like. It's what it's meant, man. It just has the ambiance here. It's got the tradition. It's just you walk in and it's just like a friendly atmosphere. You got all the music going on, the Christmas lights right now, and you're back at full capacity again.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got people from all walks of life and all different backgrounds and fans of all different sports teams. And maybe this may be the one place in the world everybody actually gets along and watch sports games.
Yeah, well, our show's brought to you by Yuengling Lager. I see we got some Yuenglings coming this way. Kyle, I'm going to do the Stone Cold to you right now. I'm going to crack this open as you remember Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, look, John's cracking his. Clemson is giving up 22 at Virginia Tech. I got some good insider information on this game. Kyle, I'm going to start this one off and tell you that I'm taking Clemson and giving up to 22. What do you I mean, look, they're good. This is their last game before they go into the ACC playoff.
Well, you know where I'm going to stand on that, especially with their coaching staff. I'm going to go with Clemson.
Are you?
Yeah.
With Dabo? Going to go with Dabo?
I like Dabo, my buddy.
Okay. What about you, Kyle?
You know, I think right now, Clemson, by the way, those Yuenglings look fantastic. When do they not, right? I think when you look at this game, I think Clemson's clearly going for style points. So I think in this game, I feel really confident that Clemson comes out and, you know, they're trying to get Trevor Lawrence back up to speed. And I think this is a team that's trying to kind of get back into the headlines. So, I think Clemson wins handedly and definitely cover that 22 points.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, we're all kind of on the same page there, which is not good for separation.
Nope.
But, all right, John, I'm going to let you go first this time. South Carolina has Mike Bobo as their coach, former Georgia quarterback, right, and offensive coordinator. They're playing at Kentucky, right, Mark Stoops. A lot of defense. Kentucky, though, is 11.5-point favorite. Alabama beat them, like 63-3?
Yeah.
Are they 11.5 points better than South Carolina?
You know, I don't know the teams too well, but I like my friends from Kentucky.
Do you?
So
Jim Beam?
Jim Beam. And I just happen to know
Mr.
a lot of people
Woodford?
from Kentucky. Their Congressman Hal Rogers.
Okay.
Him. So I'm going to take Kentucky.
Okay, you're going Kentucky. You're giving up the 11.5. Kyle, what do you think?
You know what? These two teams are just so terrible. I think that, South Carolina is Kentucky better than, South Carolina by 11.5. I don't think so. I think this game is going to be some sort of a low-scoring Major League Baseball game. That neither team has a quality offense. I think Kentucky will win just because they have a better coach, they have a better defense, but their offense is just atrocious. But somehow it'll be close. So I don't like the points, so I'll take South Carolina on that.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, 11.5 points. I mean, South Carolina is not going to give up, right? They're not going to not try. But Kentucky's at home, 11.5 points. I got to separate myself from Kyle, John. I agree with Kyle, but for the sake of entertainment, I'll take Kentucky. All right. We got Oregon State at Utah. Kyle, last week, Oregon State upset Oregon. There was this kind of this undertow of people that were saying, hey, Oregon's going to be in the college football playoff. They're challenging for this spot. But the Civil War was won by Oregon State. I was watching it at Innisfree.
Yep.
Throw our buddy Zach a shout out with Trip Rogers last week, thinking about, my last show there. Jake Bentley's the quarterback at Utah. Kyle, what do you think?
In this particular game, I think Oregon State, thank goodness that they beat Oregon, to kind of take the Pac-12 out of this whole contention later on. That was my worst case scenario, is that some team from the Pac-12 would win 4 games and then be knocking on the college football playoff door. So now I'm resting easy considering those guys are out of the equation. Utah, that's a tough place to play, and considering these guys are coming off an emotional win. Utah, are they going to win by 10 points? Probably not. So I'm still taking Oregon State, but I think it's going to be closer than a 10-point spread.
Oof,
that's tough.
What do you think, John?
Well, you know me, I'm very technical and analytical. And I have family in Oregon, so I'm going with Oregon.
Hey, Kyle, if you come down here, do not let him feed you the bushwhackers.
I always feed Mick the bushwhackers. So I end up doing the better picks.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this guy will hook you up. I think Jake Bentley and Utah at some point are going to win. Right, they're 0-2 right now. I like the fact that the guy was at North Carolina. He's an Alabama quarterback. Like he's been all over the country. At some point, they're going to win. Oregon State has a lot of momentum. 10.5 points, though. Geez, that's a big spread. I'm going to take Oregon State in the points, even though I think Utah is going to win the game. All right, look, normally we wait to pick the Bama-LSU game, but since the show is on late and, we the way that it all worked out with the scheduling for radio this week, we got Bama and LSU, 28.5 points.
That's crazy.
28.5. John, you just start us off. You know this one.
Yeah. All right. So
this is Alabama LSU at 28.5.
I'm going to get analytical on you here. So I've lived in Alabama my whole life. Went to the University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa campus.
Roll Tide.
And the only exception to that is I lived in Louisiana for 3 years. From 2006 to 2009, I lived between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, and I fell in love with those people.
What were you doing there?
I was doing a lot of cleanup work after Katrina.
Okay.
And tore down a lot of houses and did a bunch of cleanup work.
All right.
Prior to my beach bar days. And so with that said, I love them, but Alabama's doing pretty good this year. So I'm obviously going to take Bama, because I live here and I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear tomorrow that I stuck up for my friends in LSU over Alabama. But no, I seriously, this year, I'd tell the truth if I thought my guys were in trouble, but I think Bama's going to win handedly.
Yeah, so you're going to give up 28.5 points.
Yeah.
Okay. Kyle?
I have to say, I've been talking, about this game for, it feels like, 2 weeks now, just because of, leading up to that game, we thought it was going to take place. I do have to say, kind of like John, that I have a great appreciation for Louisiana, besides the football aspect of it. I love New Orleans. I love the nightlife. I love the music. I love the food. I love spending, New Year's there and watching Alabama roll in the Sugar Bowl. I've always had such a good time kind of standing on those balconies and, kind of enjoying the nightlife. I mean, my goodness, coming from New Mexico, I never would have dreamed that I'd be in, New Orleans for, Mardi Gras or for even New Year's, kind of having some VIP access up there. So it's treated me well, to say the least. But looking at this football game, I think it's clear that Alabama is certainly coming in locked, loaded, and it's clearly the better team roster-wise. I still can't believe that two things, that LSU came into Tuscaloosa last year and beat Alabama, with Tua Tagovailoa. And then the second thing is that they won the championship. And then, thirdly, kind of look at the downward spiral after, one of the best seasons that we've had. What Ed Orgeron said is about to catch up with him. He shouldn't have said that. Alabama Crimson Tide coming through. I think it's going to be, 35 points. I think Alabama is going to drop the hammer in every single aspect. I think, you got a Roll Tide in this one, and Alabama puts on a ton of points, and I think they run up the score on LSU.
All right, it's my turn, Kyle. I got to show John something before I pick.
Right in the middle of the field. Everybody. Hey, we've been waiting for this moment, man. Let's go. Right here in the middle of the damn field. Let's bring it down. Tigers on 3. Hell yeah. Because this is our house from now on. Yes, sir. Tigers on 3. 1, 2, 3. Tigers.
Good.
Yeah, what he said was that they were going to own Alabama's. They were
was that this year?
That was last year.
No, that was last year.
It was last year. And then they had a locker room video. Kyle won't let me play. Sam, that was for you and for John because he hadn't seen that. I would give up 50 points in this game. Alabama is going to roll these guys like an egg roll. I mean, like sushi.
Ugly.
They're going to roll them like sushi.
I think it's going to be ugly.
They're going to look. This is the kind of game that if we did a bushwhacker for every Alabama touchdown, no one would be able to drive home. Okay,
I agree.
All Alabama, all day long. I'm going to enjoy every single second of it. I'm going to love it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I do. I'm like you, man. I do like LSU. I've had a lot of fun down there going to games. They're really good people, but a lot of talking last year, and I think Nick Saban is going to make them pay. Guys, let me remind you, we're at the Flora-Bama. We're doing it on the line. Perdido Key, Orange Beach, right on the border of Alabama and Florida. We're going to be here next week as well for the Arkansas show, and we're having a good time, man. There's live music daily on 3 stages. It's open from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Yep.
So that's a long time to be open. Free bingo Monday through Friday from 1 to 4. Get your bushwhackers. Got some of those right here. Tons of TV for watching football on Saturdays and Sundays. And you can find out all the information that you need at Flora-Bama.com or on Facebook. So come hang out with us. And John's going to stick with us. We're going to talk some more football when we come back. We're going to break this thing down. Alabama and LSU. You're watching and you're listening to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We'll be right back.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Special purchase 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989. First come, first serve while they last. Tuscaloosa Hyundai has made a special purchase of new Tucsons starting at $19,989. All with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty, no charge. Over 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989.
It's why you drive home happy.
Exclusively at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the BamaInsider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
Switching your job is stressful. Switching your schools is painful. But switching your insurance to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you call one local agent who can assist you with all your policies and make your paperwork simple. Here in Tuscaloosa and Northport, Allstate agent Andrew Kniffer can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, motorcycle, or even RV, ATV, and snowmobile. Stop by Andrew Kniffer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard. Are you in good hands? Prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
It's time to get back to the great outdoors, to making memories, to feeling like yourself again. The world may have slowed down, but here in Sevierville, Tennessee, we know that just means there's more time to enjoy it all. It's time to get back to the Smoky Mountains. And when getting there brings you back, you know you're in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here. Learn more about traveling safely at visitsevierville.com.
We're live from the Flora-Bama here in Orange Beach, Perdido Key. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, and we're getting you set for Alabama and LSU kickoff at 7 o'clock. The Crimson Tide are ranked number 1, looking for a little revenge against the Tigers. Don't forget, Flora-Bama's open. Our show has been sponsored by Yingling Lager and Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball people gave me this for Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. I'm McKinnis hanging out. They said, hey, look, your partner would look good in that particular hat. And so, Kyle, this one right here is for you. Kyle's
for you, buddy.
Yeah, he's going to be around after the game, YouTube television. Go to Bama Insider. He's got the watch party, and he's got the post-game show, so he'll take all of your comments. This segment is brought to you by our friends at Bama Buggies. Bama Buggies is a touchdown for anyone looking for an ATV, a Sea-Doo, motorcycle, or side-by-side. Hunting season is almost here, and Bama Buggies has you covered. Find out for yourself at BamaBuggies.com. Last week, we had our friend from Bama Buggies, Barry Buckner, hanging out with us like you're doing right now, John. And this is where we asked Kyle about this game. LSU versus Alabama. What a rivalry. Best games in the past. Kyle, you go. I'm going to let John talk about some. This is what I love about this matchup, though. Kyle, what do you think?
I mean, when you kind of look at, the best games, I mean, since I've been here, I mean, you kind of look at the last, you kind of look from the games from 2014 all the way to now. That's kind of since the time that I've covered the Alabama Crimson Tide. And, you look at what Alabama's been able to do in Baton Rouge has been pretty amazing. I just said it in the beginning of the show. LSU hasn't scored a touchdown since 2014. I keep pointing to that stat because it's so remarkable. Last season was a pretty incredible game with LSU's offense coming in and outdueling the Alabama Crimson Tide by a score of 46-41. We've seen these teams go back and forth, and we know what's at stake because these teams recruit at the highest level. I mean, you guys, you look to Sage Ryan, who recently chose LSU over Alabama. You look to Eric Gilbert last year, kind of similar stature. But then you point to guys that are on Alabama's roster that are starting on the defensive side. Dylan Moses, Christian Harris, Chris Allen. Those guys are from Baton Rouge. I think that says a lot about Nick Saban's ability to get the best from, whatever state he wants. But he does such an excellent job recruiting in the state of Louisiana. You continue to see him doing that. You look at Devontae Smith. We've already talked about that. You look at Slade Bolden, a lot of guys from Louisiana currently on Alabama's roster. So tons at stake, and Alabama knows that. But I think kind of that revenge factor, even though Nick Saban won't admit it, I think that plays a big role in Saturday night's outcome.
Yeah, like John, I'm thinking about like the craziest LSU game that I've ever been in. I wasn't too far from you in '99. Remember that game? They 3 guys got hurt on the last play.
Yep.
And LSU was terrible that year, but they almost beat Alabama, who won the '99 SEC title game. That was crazy. I'm thinking like the finish of a game, and the one where T.J. Yeldon scored was pretty crazy too. But I wasn't at that one. I was at the one though in Tuscaloosa in '99. What's your biggest LSU memory?
I've got a few of them, but honestly, the last game when they beat us so bad, I took a bunch of my friends from LSU.
Back before Saban.
Yeah. No. I mean, last year.
Oh, last year.
Yeah. So
I saw you there last year.
I was there last year, but we took some buses and I took a bunch of my friends from LSU and told them how we were going to teach them a lesson. And it was very embarrassing.
Yeah, that was not fun.
No.
All right, Kyle, look, you talked about the Baton Rouge 3, other players that play for Bama that are from Louisiana. The significance of this game as far as recruiting?
I mean, every single year, just like I said, I mean, Alabama and LSU continue to go at it head to head. Even though LSU has these allegations against them, you kind of look at everything that's going on here. This is another opportunity for Nick Saban to kind of pull away from the rest of the competition. You look at LSU, you look at Georgia. Those are the teams that can recruit close to what Alabama is doing. So if Nick Saban can once again reestablish, which he's already done, that dominance against the SEC and the big win against LSU, which will be coming here shortly, it's going to speak volumes to the SEC and a lot of these kids that are kind of looking at, what is LSU going through, and Alabama, these guys are the kings of college football. So I think a lot's on the line when you kind of talk about recruiting, when you talk about on the field, off the field situations, and kind of everything that Ed Orgeron's been going through. I think that's going to start to speak to the recruits, and that'll just be something else that Nick Saban can capitalize on.
He's Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. John McKinnis from the Flora-Bama hanging out with us for the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. I want to also tell you guys that we appreciate the patronage of our buddy Andrew Kniffer at Andrew Kniffer Allstate, Northport, Tuscaloosa. All right, can LSU win this football game, John? Can they do it? I'm going to ask Kyle the same question, Kyle. So just
it'd be mighty tough.
28.5 points.
It'd be mighty tough.
Kyle?
I mean, the only way that they don't win is if Alabama show up, right? I mean, look, Alabama, we're trying to make this as interesting as possible, but this game, I mean, it's going to be bad. And you kind of look to what LSU did against Texas A&M, and listening to Ed Orgeron, his press conference, he said that, look, they're looking forward to playing Alabama. They're ready to play Alabama. They say they have enough players to play Alabama, but they're not ready to play Alabama. Look, this team for the Alabama Crimson Tide, sure, they're going to be missing some assistant coaches, but all the other players, look at the health standpoint of this team, right? You're missing Jalen Waddle, who was a huge asset to this team overall. And look what Alabama's continued to do even without Jalen Waddle. You look at Devontae Smith and kind of the emergence of his play. You look at Najee Harris. I mean, this team is very healthy where they're at. The only other injury you can really point to is their third-team running back, who's Trey Sanders. But besides that, this team is extremely healthy, which they're usually not toward this part of the season. It's bad news for LSU.
No doubt about it. Guys, we're going to wrap this thing up when we come back. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. It's presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sinatra, or maybe an SUV like the Tucson. Tailgating doesn't get any better. We come back, we're going to talk about our friend Kyle Henderson and his post-game show and his watch party and Alabama and LSU one more time, so don't go anywhere. We wrap things up right after this.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Special purchase, 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989. First come, first served while they last. Tuscaloosa Hyundai has made a special purchase of new Tucsons starting at $19,989. All with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty, no charge. Over 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989.
It's why you drive home happy.
Exclusively at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the BamaInsider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Experience the true spirit of Tuscaloosa at Hotel Indigo, downtown's first waterfront hotel overlooking the Black Warrior River. Hotel Indigo is perfectly located near a myriad of unique shopping shops, restaurants, and the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. You rolling with the tide? Hotel Indigo is less than a mile from the University of Alabama. The Lookout Bar on the roof of Hotel Indigo is the best place in Tuscaloosa to enjoy great views, appetizers, and spirits with friends. Book Hotel Indigo now and enjoy the best of Tuscaloosa.
It's time to get back to the great outdoors, to making memories, to feeling like yourself again. The world may have slowed down, but here in Sevierville, Tennessee, we know that just means there's more time to enjoy it all. It's time to get back to the Smoky Mountains. And when getting there brings you back, you know you're in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here. Learn more about traveling safely at visitsevierville.com.
Final segment of the Bama Insider Tailgate Show with Kyle Henderson. I'm Mick Gillespie talking to you live from this guy's place, Flora-Bama, down here.
Broke my mic here, man.
Hey, well, just here. I'll fix it afterwards. Just do that.
Bushwhackers.
Stay off the bushwhackers. Kyle Henderson's here. He's going to be on after the football game with the call-in show. So if you want to talk about off about Alabama-LSU, you can call Kyle. You can also hang out with him. He's got a watch party that he does.
Cool.
I told him that we need to do a watch party here.
We do, Kyle. Come on, man.
Bring Kyle down and his family, put them up somewhere, and Kyle and I hang out.
We can handle that.
This segment.
Sorry, go ahead, Mick.
No, I was going to say this segment's brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. But what are you saying, Kyle? Go ahead, man. Fire away.
I have to play this clip of Najee Harris talking about L.A., Lower Alabama, because when I first moved here,
Najee.
I'm from the West, right? So when I first moved here, I was out with some buddies and we were talking, and someone was like, "Yeah, I'm from LA," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I used to live in Redondo Beach, California," and they were like, "No, man, I was from Lower Alabama." So Najee Harris, being from north of San Francisco, here's Najee Harris, and I think that's the most hilarious clip. We got to play it before we bail out, since you guys are in LA, right? I mean,
yeah.
I'm just down here in LA, Lower Alabama, but
man.
I thought you was talking about Los Angeles.
So there's Najee.
Kyle,
that's funny, man.
I was affiliated at his fraternity, and they did the same thing to me. They used to say, "We're from LA," and then I would be like, "LA, like Lower Alabama."
Yeah, we got Kyle. I don't know if you know this, but
Kenny
Stabler was from Foley, right here.
Okay, yeah.
Julio Jones.
Oh my goodness.
Julio.
AJ McCarron, good friend of mine, Mobile, right here, Lower Alabama. So we got something in the water down here, man.
No doubt.
I'm serious. I mean, speaking about that area, I mean, the kind of exploring the great state of Alabama, I got my first opportunity to go down to the Grand, to go Fairhope, and I just couldn't believe it. I mean, such a gem, those entire areas. So, my family and I continue to explore the whole area. Hope to get out to your neck of the woods soon. I really would appreciate kind of linking up and trying some bushwhackers and talking some football. It sounds amazing.
I know it sounds crazy, but right here in Alabama, we have the whitest, softest sand in the world.
Oh,
there you go. And Kyle, you and your family are invited. All right, Kyle, final thoughts, man. We gotta wrap this show up.
Final thoughts. I mean, you got to keep it simple. I think going into this game, if Alabama just continues to execute, continues to play to their standard and not kind of get drug out into this whole revenge deal, I think Alabama is going to lay the wood to LSU. Look for continued high production from Mac Jones, one of the top players in all of college football, certainly gunning for that Heisman Trophy award. You got to look to kind of pat those stats. I know they won't say that publicly, but, that's something that Mac Jones, continues to flex on. Look for the continued production of Najee Harris between that high-powered Alabama offensive line that has been playing out of this world. And really, the quiet storyline over the last several weeks has been the improved play of the Alabama defense. Look what they've done against Kentucky, against Mississippi State, against Auburn. So I think that Alabama's defense certainly on a mission. This team is, they have one goal. That's to win the national championship. It all starts, you got to be perfect in college football. It all starts again down in Baton Rouge. Alabama, a 28-point favorite. Look for Alabama to run up and down the field against LSU Tigers.
My partner's the best in the business, guys. Make sure you check out his show, The Watch Party, during the game, and then the post-game show after. Kyle Henderson, all of his work also at BamaInsider.com. John, any final thoughts, man?
None other than we're finishing a heck of a year. So everybody out there, I love you guys. God bless you. Enjoy this SEC season, and let's have a good end of 2020 and have a great 2021.
Hey, that's a good idea. Look, guys, what I'm going to tell you is this. is that Alabama's going to roll. It's going to be a lot of fun. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back at Flora-Bama next week for the Arkansas game, 6 to 8 on Friday night. We'll be on Jocks Radio from 9 to 11 on Saturday before the Alabama-Arkansas game. We appreciate all of your support. Download the podcast and check out Bama Insider, the YouTube channel, BamaInsider.com. We got you covered with recruiting. We got all of our shows on there. You want to talk about just a plethora of activity, check out the YouTube channel and the website, and you're going to get all the latest information. Your best source for Alabama recruiting and everything else. Crimson Tide is BamaInsider.com from the Rivals Network. Special thanks to everyone that makes this show possible. Kyle Henderson, Trey Yanity, John McKinnis for being here. Our presenting sponsor is Yingling Lager, America's oldest brewery, Pearl River Resort, and the Timeout Sports Lounge, Rounders, Tuscaloosa Hyundai, R&R Cigar, and Reagan from over there, Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports, our buddy Don Staley, new hip, he's ready to go. Bama Buggies, don't forget about our friend Barry, who joined us last week, Allstate agent Andrew Kniffer, Innisfree, and Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. They geared us up for everyone here at the Flora-Bama. Also, you got Sevierville, Tennessee, Hotel Indigo, and the Flora-Bama. Thanks, John.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
And thank you, too, Kyle. Alabama, LSU, 7 o'clock. Roll Tide, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching.
Roll Tide.
The Flora-Bama Beach Bar is open at full capacity with no COVID restrictions. It's time to slip on back to Orange Beach for multiple stages of live music daily, free bingo Monday through Friday, and football watching all season long on tons of TVs. There's never been a better time to enjoy sunsets from the beachfront bars with a famous bushwhacker. Flora-Bama is one of the top beach bars in the world, and under Florida guidelines has no COVID restrictions. Planning on a bachelor or bachelorette party? Then come do it on Bama.com. Experience the true spirit of Tuscaloosa at Hotel Indigo, downtown's first waterfront hotel overlooking the Black Warrior River. Hotel Indigo is perfectly located near a myriad of unique shops, restaurants, and the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. You rolling with the tide? Hotel Indigo is less than a mile from the University of Alabama. The Lookout Bar on the roof of Hotel Indigo is the best place in Tuscaloosa to enjoy great views, appetizers, and spirits with friends. Book Hotel Indigo now and enjoy the best of Tuscaloosa.
All right, thanks for watching, fam. Good night. We'll catch you soon right here on Bama Insider.